Destiny put out a new update for their game, and people are suspecting that AI was used in this update. We have this callout post by user Master Gecko on Twitter, who goes by mgecko117. And again, don't send hate to any parties involved, please. So Gecko writes, guys, if you've been following me for a long time, you know I never do AI art callouts because I really dislike any kind of drama. However, I am pretty certain that Bungie is using AI art for the Renegades expansion, referring to the Renegades expansion for the game Destiny. This is the concept art for Dredge and Bale they showed during the Renegades development Vidoc, and it has a lot of unmistakable signs for AI generated art. I can do a more detailed breakdown of the artwork if people have more doubts and questions. If there's anything I respect about Bungie, it's that I think they have some of the best artists in the industry who genuinely seem to care about what they're making. This really makes me wonder what's happening internally at Bungie if my judgment is correct. Attaches a screenshot of the development for the character design for Dredge and Bale, which will be added to the new Renegades expansion for Destiny. And this was shown in the Destiny 2 Renegades Vidoc, making of a renegade, alongside other concept artwork. And again, it is listed, not actual gameplay in development. Things might change, so there is that as well. But off the bat, and Gecko will go into this, which we'll look at, some things are a little bit odd and suspicious. Like, even if you just don't even zoom in deeply at the character design itself, like, it's not like a character sheet, but this is a character turnaround. We do have the front and the kind of side back profile of the character. And some things out the gate aren't already adding up. The character has a design on the hood, basically, right? Where the hood is gray and there's red that kind of swoops in and meets at the front. But the color is not the same. The character is wearing a blood red cloak color. And in the left, so the back profile, the color airs a little bit more towards wine red, a little more purple undertones. And in the front render, it's an orange red. So these aren't actually the same shades of red. And same thing with the hood. The hood design is the same color of red carried to the front of the hood. And then in the front profile, the front of the hood is actually pink. So it's also not the same color. So maybe they were doing some really fun things with the environmental lighting, but that's wrong. And then secondly, the front render is actually not correct either, because if you look at the video, this is literally 4 minutes into this Destiny 2 video where it's not actual gameplay because things are set to change, but we do get a sample of what is being worked on here. We have a video of Dredgen walking, and as you can see, Dredgen kind of has these chains wrapped around their right shoulder, right? And that is just completely missing, but you see it on the back here. But then the chain anatomy is just odd. It kind of looks like the chain also drapes over the both shoulders. And maybe this is not a chain, but something else, right? Because the lighting is quite harsh, but none of that is present on the front profile of the character at all. But then if you look at the back profile of the character, the chain is arcing really weirdly. The chain looks like it's clipped to something on the left shoulder, but there is no clip or anything that would indicate it would sit there. So it's just kind of odd behavior for that as well, that just in the land of physics. And this is supposed to be sci-fi based in Destiny and Star Wars. So maybe for lore reasons, it's not actually following Earth physics, but it's just a bit interesting of a choice. Definitely, the coloring already is very odd. This is the breakdown that Gecko provided. Here's a quick breakdown. I could point out more signs of AI, but I think this is more than enough. So over the screen grab from the video itself, which they kind of show here at the 6-minute mark, Gecko added some details. One, on the back, the chain here morphs from a chain, this other cross, into the folds of the clothing. So you can kind of see that happening here. There's, again, more oddities with the chain crossing as well here on this side of the body. They didn't mention it, but I find this part of the shoulder odd as well, because the chain clips onto what looks like a fanny pack or something that sits on the shoulder. But again, if you go into the not completed in-game example, that's just not what the character is wearing. So if you're giving Turbo benefit of doubt, maybe this was a really, really old concept that they then later deviated from. It's still odd though. And again, the back profile and the front profile just don't match. In the back profile, the glove has a cuff on it. And then on the front, that just is not a thing. And again, they highlight where is the chain connected to on the front of the character. Zoom ins on the front, the electrical detailing for what is attached to the chest is kind of mishmash. And they add an image of AI generated electronics to show you that how from afar it might look very convoluted and like its proper circuitry. And then you look closer, and again, what is this abomination going on here? The hand is really funny because the character's left hand, our right, if we're looking at it, there's two hands. You can see a hand here. There's a thumb going down clearly, and then we have part of the hand. And then there is an outline shape for what would be like a second hand. And then the lightsaber. Lightsaber blade comes out of nowhere. It comes straight out of the palm of the character's hand. What is that coming out of? Just very, very, very suspicious and odd. And they also highlight two completely different styles of rendering for the front and the back view of the character. And yeah, the front view definitely looks very like realistic leather with a lot of like wear and tear through the leather. The back, the texture looks completely different. It's looking a little bit less leather, looking a little bit closer to like, not polyester, but like what a hazmat suit material would look like. Another one again is just like comparing the front render to the in-game. The panel for the left breast panel, it kind of has like this curve around the pectoral muscle, and then it just goes down against the obliques down here. And that again is just not present in the front render that we see here. Somebody says, oh boy, that sure looks like AI with some paint over. And Gecko says, yep, I don't do AI callouts like this without first examining art in question in detail and finding unmistakable evidence. I think an official statement from Bungie would go a long way since they have eroded a lot of trust with prior instances of art controversy. Other people are saying, is it AI? Possibly, but do we really care? Probably not. The industry is just moving towards AI and we just need to accept it. There's that sentiment. And then the third sentiment is, well, you know, like maybe benefit of doubt, the developers, whomever is working on the art side of it, maybe they had multiple artists working on this, which is why the front render and the back just look kind of different. Other people are saying it's photo bashing, you know, and that, you know, if you compare this to an example of artists who have done previous work for them, that, you know, it doesn't look too different. A commenter had linked Tobias Kwan's ArtStation. They are a senior concept art lead at Bungie for the game Marathon, but you know, they also have work for Destiny 2 here. And you can see their work is absolutely gorgeous. I guess they're referring to, which is like, you know, it's not a complete render. You can see the brushstrokes and stuff like that when you zoom closely into the design. But I mean, I don't think these designs and what was shown in the video are, I would say, the same in terms of consistency. Because again, here we do have the like sketchiness kind of, right, for a gorgeous design, but like it's not like frame by frame or like piece by piece the character looks different. Like it looks like two different people drew it. Where again, if you do look at this side by side, it does not look like it was created by the same person. And a commenter said, I can't believe they would actually show this, LOL. And Gecko says, they don't care and most of their fans want more content to consume. Bungie has been caught stealing from independent artists multiple times and nothing has changed. I'm pretty sure this one will get swept under the rug too. And what is Gecko referring to? Well, your girl has actually made a video about this before. I titled it Video Game Companies Stole Art, and it's happened before. Well, Bungie is technically the developer, but they have stolen art for a bunch of things. Bungie developed the game Marathon, and Marathon was caught plagiarizing a fair amount of work from an artist by the name of Anti-Real. And this was a whole thing that happened kind of like earlier in May. And then we have here a cutscene in Destiny 2, which is the same game we're talking about here, where an artist by the handle Element J21 had their work basically directly one-for-one ripped for this cutscene. Destiny had also allegedly ripped this design as well, allegedly for all of them, so I don't get in trouble. This Nerf gun design. And more examples of work being ripped. This work ripped from Reed dates back to 2012. So at the end of the day, right, like whether this was AI or not and that was included in the video or not, it's up to speculation. We don't have a smoking gun necessarily where we see them sticking it into Midjourney or anything like that. But, you know, the developer does have a past history of art infractions in the past. And the public, again, is very split with people being like, well, they've done this in the past and I wouldn't put it past them to use AI in their process nowadays. And other people are saying, well, you know, like, benefit of doubt, photo bashing, this, that, and the third. We know that Bungie isn't in the good grace of the public right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean this was generated. So I'm curious about your thoughts. And again, don't send hate to any parties involved. Please do not do that. I would love to see your comments. Again, apologies for the scuffed. I am visiting my family's setup right now, so we're just trying to make things work. And I'll be going to China and Japan soon, so the scuffed setups will continue. So please bear with me for that. But yes, if you like this video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Don't forget to check me out on Etsy. I have digital art there for streamers and creators like emotes and overlays. I also have a coffee with free resources like a free sponsorship guide, and I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. I'm also trying to grow my Instagram. If you'd like to follow me there, we're almost at 100K. Well, almost kind of there. So yeah, I'll hope to catch you guys in my Twitch streams or in another video. Peace.